Okay, people, requested video here. So people want me to talk about this LNG video. Realistic expectations for Halo Infinite. Not quite sure what to expect. I've skimmed through a little bit. I've seen some of the bullshit. And thought while we're doing this, we can have a little bit of a stroll down memory lane about mid-part way through the video. It's going to be a really long video, unfortunately, because that's the nature of these types of videos. We'll have some more other shorter videos coming if this isn't for you. But let's take a look at this video because this is one that's been requested. So let's see what it's all about. Let's get to the good stuff.
Halo Infinite had an exciting trailer, which I think is safe to say. It captured the essence of the franchise really well, and the artistic and cinematic direction of the trailer was on point. 343 announced that the art director at 343, Sparth, had brought the art style of the series 343 had been using since Halo 4 back to the drawing board and revised it to be way more like the Halo you remember. Going forward, the visuals will make sure to tap into the iconic moments of the series and pull inspiration from not just the community's feedback, but the artistic direction of Bungie's games that made the series so recognizable in the gaming landscape. But there is still a lot we don't know, and a less than stellar track record of releases naturally has people worried about 343's next game. I'm not saying that any of 343's games are objectively bad. That the MCC is pretty damn close. Thank you for finally fixing it. But it is...
Okay, first of all, 343's games are bad. Look at the sales, look at the game population. That's all there is to it. There's no, is the game shit? Yeah, it's shit. It lost half its fan base for a reason.
Safe to say that 343 has a track record of at least releasing consistently divisive games. I won't pretend to not know why some people are skeptical. We know very little about the gameplay, we know very little about the campaign, release window, goals as a title, etc., etc. We know very little about the game in general, other than its priorities are to be more like the Halos of old.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No, the priorities are not to be like Halos of old. The priorities are to fool the masses into thinking they're making a game like the Halos of old. Where is the evidence they're actually making a game like the Halos of old, other than an art direction?
More divisive modern games, which I'm excited about, but it's also a bit vague of a statement.
Why are they modern games? The mechanics in Halo 5 are not modern. It's a fucking falsehood.
About the classic art style returning aside, I want to talk about what I'm expecting the game to be in more realistic terms, because naturally I have my own idea of what I wish the game was, but I'm also aware that...
Well, the other day you posted that you wanted it to be a Destiny clone, which is one of the most retarded things I've ever seen in the history of Twitter comments.
343 is not making this game specifically for me. I am one of millions of fans, and I can't exclusively be the targeted audience because I am but a person. Here's what I'm realistically expecting from Halo Infinite. Halo 5's story is a dead horse topic. Yes, it's not great, and back in 2015 it felt like it was so...
You can't just say things are not great, or not as good as they should be, or whatever. What you mean is it's fucking shit. Just fucking say it. Be a man.
Bad that it potentially doomed the series, but years later, the series is not...
Social Justice Warrior Cortana, Social Justice Warrior
In
character
fact,
from
343
frickin'
has
Halo
done a
Wars.
lot to course correct and drive it back towards something general Halo fans are a bit more comfortable with. It's taking them a while, but slowly I'm starting to see a Halo universe that's a bit more familiar and reminds me a bit more of the series I fell in love with, starting with 2. After Halo 5...
Okay, first of all, you're showing Halo Wars 2 slides on this. The Halo Wars 2 story is dog shit. Dog shit. Just as bad as Halo 5, if not worse. Makes absolutely no sense. It's dog shit. Who the fuck is Atriox? Why have we not heard about him over the last few games? They just pulled him out of thin air. Thin fucking air. And who are the fucking people around him? Pulled out of thin fucking air. If you're going to make a new character, make him a new character. Don't say, this has been going on in the background for the last fucking 20 years behind the scenes and we haven't found out about it yet. Even though everybody knows who this fucking guy is. How the fuck do the humans not know about him then? Makes no sense.
I've nearly pushed me away from the franchise for good. To go a bit further...
I hate that. Every time I see that Cortana, I just get flashbacks. I get flashbacks. Next minute I'm seeing the Warden. And he's walking around, the swords. And the AI are retarded. And I want to die. It is a terrible game. I can't even look at that shit.
Further with that point, on the Reset Era forums, Frank O'Connor said this about the story. It will continue the story from...
He said a lot of things about the story of Halo 5, none of which came true. So why would you even read? It's like, basically, if Frank O'Connor's comments were available as toilet paper, they would be fucking brilliant to have around the house. I mean, like, oh, which comment I'm going to wipe my arse on today? Because that's how much use they are. It's not even worth reading.
Halo 5 Guardians. But it will be built in a way that makes it a good place to start your first Halo adventure. It will take place after the events of Halo 5, but feel new to new players. Remember how Halo Combat Evolved woke you up in the middle of a war you had apparently been fighting? This sounds like Infinite may act as a kind of rebranding.
Sounds like marketing hype bullshit from Frank O'Connor, as per usual.
Or a soft reboot, in the same way the 2005 Doctor Who show was technically a continuation of the old show, but
Yeah. Whew, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
new aesthetic, story presentation, and accessible style of delivery allowed new fans to jump on board without having to go through the series' history as to not be lost. Something also
Doctor Who has no fucking history of story. It's the same shit over and over. Oh, we go in a fucking time machine. Oh, we land on a mysterious planet. Or we're back in fucking London again. And oh, there's fucking Daleks. There is no fucking story in Doctor Who. It's fucking kiddie nonsense. Do you mean it's the same shit over and over? Why would you ever need to go back and watch any episode of Doctor Who to understand another one when all the previous episodes never made any sense anyway? It's just shit thrown together in 5 minutes. Wow. Like, that even compares to Halo. Like, that's even a comparison. What the fuck? So what can we expect in Halo Infinite then? Daleks? Cybermen? Or just the same shit from Halo 1, but they're gonna rehash it, do the exact same thing, and not mention anything from the past, and just act like we've never seen the grunts before. Makes no sense.
to note is how 343 has also been pushing the CE vibe strongly. The game will be on a ring, or at least the
Well, that fucking Warthog doesn't like anything from Halo 1 I've ever seen.
focus will be about a Halo ring. It will feature a time jump that, assumedly, will be used to give us a CE style of setting, as Frank O'Connor said. In fact, that's kind of a perfect way to soft reboot the series without throwing out years and years of story. Halo 5 brought the series,
343 are kings. Kings at throwing out years and years of story. What happened from Halo 4 to Halo 5? What happened? What happened from Halo Reach that carries on? What happened from all the fucking Bungie games that actually carries on? Nothing. What happened in Hunt the Truth? The fucking radio type series. What happened to that? Nothing. Nothing of that happens in the game. Is it even canon anymore? Characters get killed off in books that no one reads. Dual-Hand Armor dies in the first cutscene of Halo 5 after all the build-up in Halo 4 and other material, and he gets killed off in the first mission. Characters from books appear in Halo 5 with absolutely no build-up whatsoever. And seriously, stop showing these Cortana fucking pictures. If there's one image that will haunt me for the rest of my life, and haunt the Halo fan base the rest of their life, it's this face. It's this face.
Close to collapsing in on itself narratively. How do you fix that? Slow way down and bring the series back to how it all began.
So they're going to bring it back to how it all began. How are they going to fix the fact that they killed off the Didact in a book without retconning the book? How are they going to get rid of the Warden without having another boss battle in the next game to get rid of the Warden? How are they going to make Sarah Palmer a relevant character because she's completely irrelevant? What's going to happen with Halsey? What's going to happen with Cortana? What's going to happen with the Guardians? What's going to happen with Lasky? How are they going to get around what they've already put into motion? Explain. Because how does going back to Halo 1 art style do anything? And it's Halo 3's art style, so it's not even... Why has it got a CE vibe? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's a Halo 3 vibe. And how are they going to go back to that? How are they going to go back to that from where they are now? Story-wise. Literally makes absolutely no sense. What are they going to do with Locke and the Munch Bunch? What's going to happen to Buck? What's going to happen to fucking Tanaka and Vale? Pointless characters. What's going to happen to them? How are they going to write them out? Right? So are they going to kill them off in books? Or are they going to kill them off in the first cutscene of the game like they did with Halo 5? But that would mean they were throwing it away. Like you just said, they don't want to throw away the story they already started. Well, now you're saying they're going to just change it completely. So you can't have it both ways. Something's got to give.
Way you can move forward with a clearer understanding of where the series began, what is the core of the series, and how the series would naturally progress going forward in a way that fans would be happy with. I unapologetically love Halo 4 and its take on the Halo universe, but
you don't love Halo 4 because you've got you on video saying that Halo 4 is a pretty bad game.
Hey, Late Night Comms here.
And Late Night PC.
I'm Taras
I'm
from
Vasily.
Late Night Comms. And, yeah, so this is, you're better than me at Halo 4.
Obviously.
I'm terrible at Halo 4. I don't like it.
you know what? I had a lot of fun with Halo 4.
But we're gonna see how this thing goes.
I don't like it much either, but I'm better at it, so we're going to use me.
you know what? I had a lot of fun with Halo 4.
I'll take 5. Custom class 5.
Match found, 15 players. Man, Halo 4 is dead. Like, dead. Nobody plays it anymore. I mean, for good reason. The game is, not exactly good. It's not exactly bad either. It's just a game.
Okay, now you might be referring to the story in this fucking video, but you can't say it's a pretty bad game one day, and then it's a fucking you love it another day. Let's just fucking have it clear now.
I also love the more traditional Halo universe most gaming audiences loved. Seeing Halo move away from Halo 4's version of the Halo universe won't upset me because, as I said, I love both of them. If 343's goal is to pursue a more Bungie style of Halo game, then I am 100% on board. Not only is it going to be fun to see Halo return to a more familiar place, it's also going to be exciting to see other gamers not feel alienated by Halo anymore. Here's a more iffy part about my realistic expectations for Halo Infinite. When Halo 5 came out, I loved its gameplay at first.
No, you didn't love it at first, because we got you on video saying you put on fake smiles.
When Halo 5 released, I'm not gonna lie, the first week was very hard for me. It was a big mental battle because the story disappointed me so much that, honestly, guys, I was thinking, oh my god, the future of Halo. Should I just leave this series? Because realistically, I thought, alright, Halo 5 will make a ton of money. It will be profitable because it's the Halo brand. You know, people are going to buy it, whether it's good or bad.
But the sales are the lowest in history.
But it was like my morals, my integrity. Should I keep playing this franchise? Because the story disappointed me so much, you know, and as the weeks went on,
he started to damage control it more and more. This is what he's going to say. Watch this.
I felt more and more pessimistic. I tried putting on fake smiles for you guys, but you can even see my...
What did I just say? What did I just say? He tried to put on fake smiles. Tried to damage control it. It's the same thing. That's it.
Previous content has been very negative of Halo 5. It's been very pessimistic, and only this past week have I almost like come to terms, like accepted.
Which means you lied. You lied about liking it at first. So how can you now suddenly have liked it at first? You didn't like it at first. You hated it at release. Just like you hated ODST at release. And you lied about that.
I have good memories from every single Halo game, even the weaker ones like ODST that at the time people hated ODST, and you know what? I loved it. When it first came out, like many others in my school, I dismissed it as boring and dumb because games like Call of Duty were teaching me that slow, methodical storytelling was lame.
165 gamer score on Halo ODST, a game that he fucking supposedly loves, even though everyone else hates it.
I really loved ODST.
Why do you keep trying to correct what you said in the past by lying?
But gradually, over the course of the many years it's been out, I've grown to actually feel indifferent about the gameplay to outright hate it because of the negative consequences that the gameplay changes have had on the combat loop and sandbox that were not immediate at the time of release but have been slowly showing their ugly head as time.
Wrong. At the time of release, you hated the game, same as everybody else did. In fact, people hated the beta. In fact, people hated the fucking trailers and the gameplay they put out before the beta. Nobody was saying this game is amazing apart from like Walsh and fucking Ninja and Pros and shit. Oh, it's come back to fucking even starts. Yeah, shove them up your arse. They mean nothing. It's not a Halo game. It's a Call of Duty clone. It's what it is. We could see that a mile away. We could see it was a Call of Duty clone with Destiny powers from a mile away. And people like LNG defended the game. But now he hates it? Funny that, isn't it?
Time goes on. I find Halo 5 to be an exhausting game to play. I feel like there's no room to breathe. Simple map traversal requires a billion different button combinations. Vehicles have no place in Slayer because the player's flying around like Superman, pressing a billion different buttons just to do simple map maneuvers. not needing vehicles or any form of external sandbox for help with moving around. It doesn't play like the Halo I prefer anymore. That being said,
I have a clue what he's on about, because they have giant maps where you have vehicles and you need vehicles still, even though the game's shit. Don't know what he's going on about.
it doesn't play like the Halo I prefer. Other people really enjoy it. Gameplay aside, the game that Halo 5...
Other people do not really enjoy it because they lost half the fan base and the population is the lowest it's ever been. There's a very small percentage of people that have really low standards that still play the game, because they literally, the only thing they must have ever liked about Halo was the way the fucking people look in the game. That's it. Because they lost a shitload of people. They didn't grow the fan base. They didn't grow it 1%. They didn't grow anything. It's a fail. The numbers do not lie.
5 is now, with all the content added post-release and the way that 343 is constantly rotating in new playlists and getting rid of old ones, it's a very solid...
That is a terrible model of gaming where you keep rotating playlists because you never feel invested in the game. If you have something that you enjoy, then the next minute it's taken away from you and you can't play that fucking game mode, then you move on to another game. You don't fucking wait around for it to reappear. No one gives a shit. That's a terrible model of playlists, and they had the same model in Halo 4 and it sucked then, and I complained about it then, and people complained about it then, and they brought it back because they do not give a shit about the fan base.
Package right now. It also helps that the game has a pretty damn extensive Forge mode and PC-style server browser.
But you've got a Forge mode that no one gives a shit about, because the Forge mode is not supposed to be an art program. It's not supposed to be something where you build Star Wars spaceships and robots and Power Rangers Zords and garbage like that. That's not what the Forge mode is meant to be for. That kind of stuff came about because people just like to be creative with things. And Bungie supported that stuff in Halo 3 and Reach or whatever. That's great. But the Forge mode was designed as a map maker, a way for people to make multiplayer maps. And what's the point in making multiplayer maps in a game that no one wants to fucking play? So the Forge mode is useless, no matter how good it is, and it's arguably not even as good as the one in Reach. That's a fact.
Means going forward, the community is making their own content and playlists. Halo 5 has a lot of reasons right now for people to continue playing, and I'm not...
New skins, no one cares. Why would you care?
As to why it's remaining on the Xbox Most Played Games charts.
Yes, it's remaining on the Xbox Most Played Games charts. Let's look at this fucking chart he's just thrown up there. Okay. Could this be any further down the fucking list? Okay. Let's just look at this for a second. So, Fortnite is up here. Then you got Grand Theft Auto, Rainbow Six, Garbage Siege, NBA 2K18, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Roblox, Call of Duty World War 2, Destiny 2. All these games are shite, by the way. Ark Survival Evolved. Really? Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is above Halo 5. Okay? Rocket League, Overwatch, Fallout fucking 4, Madden, Minecraft, FIFA, Smite, which has just gone on Games with Gold for free packs and shit, Forza Horizon 3, Battlefield 1, Elder Scrolls, State of Decay 2, then Halo 5. Closely followed by the shitty Division and almost as low as NBA 2K17. Yeah, that's the previous version of NBA 2K18, which is up here. And this is a success. Are we forgetting that this game is free on fucking Game Pass? It's a game that people can just try for free, essentially, as long as they have a Game Pass subscription. So it's obviously going to be on the list, because how many of those games on that screen are actually on Game Pass? Okay, some of those games are on EA Access, but that's it. None of them are on Game Pass, apart from Forza Horizon. I think Forza Horizon 3 is now on Game Pass, and I think Halo 5 Guardians is on Game Pass. Okay? So it's a game that you can play on your Game Pass subscription. You're going to have to factor that into every list ever and ever now. Casual noobs that can just play a game for 5 minutes can add to a population, can add to a most played list. And it's not even high. Even with the Game Pass, it's still below all of these trash games that are not even good. And that's a success? What a failure. What a failure.
For some of the more popular games, despite being a 3-year-old game that launched with basically no content. Gameplay-wise, it plays a lot more like modern shooters such as Call of Duty or Battlefield, which is probably good for hooking new gamers in.
But let me get this straight. Let's just stroll down memory lane here. Weren't you the guy that said it isn't a Call of Duty clone, but it doesn't play like Battlefield or Call of Duty, that it's got nothing to do with them? Weren't you that guy? Let me see here. Let me just see. Let's get the evidence up here. What we got here? Yeah, this is my video from 2015, June. Okay, so this is a few years old now. Late Night Gaming. Halo 5 does not have COD controls or ADS. Really? So the game plays like Call of Duty, but it doesn't have COD controls or ADS. Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, we're just before E3 2015 coming up, and because it's coming up on E3, the fanboys are raging in the comments again, because Summit stirred them up because they've heard some rumours or whatever, they've seen some new videos, and they've come to take it out on me for some fucking reason.
Exactly. So this happens every E3. Every E3. The fanboys go wild. A little snippet of Halo news comes out, and they go nuts. For no reason. There is nothing to show. Okay, what have we got here? LNG, notice how you completely ignored how I shot down every point you tried to make about it being a COD reskin, which it isn't. You're just a blind hater, but that's okay, because the less of you playing Halo 5, the better. Okay, so this is funny on two levels. Number one, he now admits it is a COD reskin. Number two, we didn't play the fucking game, hence they lost half the fan base and all of the fucking population. It doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay. It's smart scoping. It's classic aim moved to a new button. But it plays like Call of Duty. Fast forward to 2018 and it plays like Call of Duty. Why is that? Why is that? Why couldn't you see that in 2015? Blind. Blind fanboy. And this is the same thing with Halo Infinite. They show you one sexy trailer and you fucking blow your wad all over the fucking screen. It's like they haven't shown you shit. Calm down. And if we put this in incognito, we can look at the comments. So, hey kiddo, once again, I proved you right. I think he means he proved himself right. Halo 5's demo got a standing ovation at E3 2015. Apparently the pre-order numbers are skyrocketing. Keep crying, your tears are so yummy. I can't stand people who aren't true Halo fans like yourself. Okay, so let me get this straight. The pre-order numbers were lower than Halo 4 before release, and they were in 2015 as well. They never caught up. I pointed that out in several videos that it wasn't going to sell as well as Halo 4. And yet here he is saying the pre-order numbers are skyrocketing. The pre-order numbers were not skyrocketing. They got a little bit of a boost because of the E3 trailer. As always. They were skyrocketing. Skyrocketing would imply they were higher than Halo 4's. At least. They were not skyrocketing. And guess what? The game didn't sell for shit. Fucking hilarious reading these old comments. And again, getting hyped over an E3 demo. Exciting. This happens every time. You're excited for Halo 5's trailer? I'm excited for Halo Infinite's. So, but this is where it gets really funny. I said, Minecraft Tabletop did well as well. So what does that prove? Bear in mind, we haven't seen anything of Minecraft Tabletop since then. Funny that. So he says, that proves both Halo 5 and HoloLens are amazing. Don't be a mad boy. Okay. So I said, they both suck. Wrong. That HoloLens is a bunch of gimmicky shit, just like Halo 5. It's a total joke. Do you actually think any of the stuff that they showed will work like that and was actually being played live? If you do, you have problems. We still haven't seen anything of that since then, surely. We haven't seen any of that shit. What is happening with the HoloLens? What is going on with that? Let's seriously look that shit up.
With that in mind, please let me...
To show our demo today, we're using a special camera. This display technique...
All you can find is the video from 3 years ago. Where is it? What happened with that shit? All bullshit. As I said. Isn't it about time you ate some humble pie, LNG? Isn't it about time you realise that you're wrong about all this stuff? You can't predict anything. Your predictions are zero. My predictions from 2015 are like 100% correct. Yeah, I've been wrong in the meantime, blah, 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 but I'm not always wrong. You're always wrong.
And when those new gamers are introduced to legacy elements of the series that are really awesome, such as Forge, the focus on...
But there are no new gamers because they lost half their fan base and the population's never been lower. So where are these new gamers? Where are they?
Etc., etc. It's easy for me to understand why people are staying with the game. I do, however, think that the enhanced mobility ultimately hurts Halo 5 in a lot of ways gamers just simply don't understand because...
So you've been talking to 5 a lot and now you want to call it enhanced mobility. But it's not enhanced anything, it's just a pile of shit. It's Destiny powers. That's what it is.
They focus more on the immediate action and just liking the fact that it plays more like other shooters they like.
Who does?
And not really thinking about the big picture and the combat flow of the Halo franchise in general.
Who does that?
Now, you know what? If they're enjoying it, I'm just going to let
Who's
them.
enjoying
If
it?
343 feels that their current gameplay is working, then I'm expecting Halo Infinite to feature a more casualized spin on Halo 5's gameplay. I think that
Halo 5 is the most casual ass game ever. It makes Halo fucking 4 look fucking hardcore. What are you talking about? Why has people got this in their heads that it's not a casual game when there was just this big video recently that Green Skull did with the pros, and the pros said, admittedly, after all these years, they were lying about the game and that it's not competitive. The pros said that, not me. They said there isn't a single competitive map and the game is not as competitive as it can be, and the AR and radars were stupid. All this stuff, right? We already knew this months in advance before. We already knew this years ago because we played the fucking game and we could see what the game is about. How can they casualize Halo 5, the most casual ass game ever? Again, something I was right about. The game being a casual ass piece of shit. Confirmed by the pros in 2018. Not confirmed by them at the time, but, 3 years later, then they catch up to my level. when they've made the money.
343 internally understands that with Halo 5, there's way too much going on. You can't simply let the player do everything and expect everything to work out just fine. Halo 5 has a problem where as time goes on and players get better and better at the movement system, the game gets progressively sweatier and sweatier to the point where now it's borderline impenetrable in some places because of how good players are. The current issue is that the gameplay doesn't...
The game is less competitive, as confirmed in Green Skull's video where he talked to the pros, the open letter video that Green Skull did. They said the game is less competitive. They did. That's a truth.
Gel well with Halo's style of combat and sandbox focus. Because of this, it creates an artificially sweaty combat loop that will only get even sweatier as time goes on. And I expect 343 to be strategizing internally how they can keep the more Call of Duty style gameplay, but also chill the game the hell out. So that...
Okay, so they want to keep the Call of Duty style gameplay, but chill the game out. So what you're saying is you want Halo Infinite to be Call of Duty World War II. Boots on the ground, visceral, boots on the ground, visceral, boots on the ground. Like anybody would buy that shit. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody's going to buy Halo Infinite if it's anything like Halo 5. And I'm talking... Like, I'm not talking about sprint, I'm not talking about armor abilities, I'm just flat out talking about Call of Duty controls and Call of Duty movement and ADS and shit like that. Just being a Call of Duty game from start to finish. If the game is anything like that, it will just fucking bomb. It will fucking bomb. I mean, it might bomb anyway because of the shit they've pulled in the last two fucking games. Well, the last 3 games. Whatever. It might bomb anyway. But if they come out with a Call of Duty game, another reskin of Call of Duty. So they've gone from Call of Duty perks and abilities in Halo 4 to Call of Duty controls and Destiny powers in Halo 5. With ADS and making it even more like Call of Duty. The way they can make it better is to make it more like Call of Duty and take away the Destiny powers. That's your idea of how to make Halo Infinite. Is it any wonder that you have more gamer score on Call of Duty than Halo? Is it any wonder that you play more COD Zombies than you do Halo? It's because you're a Call of Duty fan. Stop lying to yourself. What you want is Halo of Duty. And that they've given you Halo of Duty, but you don't like Halo of Duty. They've given you 2 games of Halo of Duty, and you didn't like either of them. Yet you want them to make another Halo of Duty. That is some sick shit, man. That is some serious, sick, twisted, self-harm shit, man. Let it go. The series is dead. Okay? It doesn't matter what they do, it is dead. But you seriously suggesting that 343 can make the game like Call of Duty in any way, shape or form, and I'm talking the smallest details here. I'm not talking about sprints. I'm not talking about armor abilities. I'm talking about the small details. The aiming system. Okay? The way the game feels. The speed of the kills. It's got to be a Halo game, first and foremost. A Halo game. You got to be crouch jumping. Okay? You got to have grenades that actually do damage. That's Halo. It's about grenades and precise headshots. That is Halo. That fucking Halo 5 piece of shit, it's about AR starts, blasting people with fucking machine guns all over the fucking map with scopes, and grenades that are as weak as fuck. Grenade indicators, hit markers, you name it. It's Call of Duty. Spartan chatter. Guys over there, guys! Rip right out of Call of Duty. That's the kind of shit that just killed it. if any of that shit seeps into, like, just like, it's like, it'd be like a fart outside of a car that managed to get inside the car. It'd be like, if Halo Infinite's the car, that shit's the fart that you don't want to get into that car. And it would just seep into it and ruin it. It doesn't matter what the art style is. It doesn't matter what the story's like. It just doesn't matter. Because no one's interested in it. No one's interested in playing a game that's a Call of Duty reskin. Nobody. Not even Call of Duty fans. They don't even care. But that's your idea of a Halo game. What the hell, man?
That it doesn't end up like Halo 5 where it is now, where even casual modes like Warzone are arguably more sweaty than any esports event from the past.
Casual modes like Warzone. The whole game is casual trash. But Warzone is a game based around the microtransaction system. That is why it feels hard. It's because the people with the better shit that play all the time and the people that buy the packs have better fucking weapons than you do. Facts. That's why it feels so shit and unbalanced, because it's the people that have the fucking sad lives that spend real money in the game that do well in it.
Halo games. Temper your expectations, people. It may look like classic Halo, but honestly, I'm not realistically expecting it to play like classic Halo. I could be angry and outraged, but I'm too exhausted at this point. For the last 2 years, I've been screaming on my channel about Halo's art style and the music and the direction, and seeing as 343 is seeming...
Well, you weren't doing any of that before launch, were you? You were attacking people like me before launch. And now you're doing the same for Halo Infinite. You're talking positively about it, knowing full well it's going to suck. Facts.
Heard some of these screams. You know what? I'm happy. The gameplay debate is a battle for another day. Because right now, I just want to rest and be happy that Halo looks like Halo again.
Well, that doesn't make any difference to the fucking game. At all. Why am I seeing
Halo 5
Titanfall?
released at a weird time. It launched during the middle of the enhanced mobility craze, so it's jetpacks.
Stop. Halo 5, what? What craze? There was never an enhanced mobility craze. What are you talking about? What do you mean a craze? Oh my god. Why is it a craze? You know what a craze is? Battle Royale. That's a craze. Enhanced mobility was just because they decided to make Call of Duty in the future, and they decided to make Titanfall, which was made by some of the same developers that left and made a separate game. What the fuck? And obviously, there was a fly on the wall in that meeting, and Halo developers were like, we should copy them! Same with Destiny. Destiny freaking powers. I mean, it's not like Call of Duty and Destiny are identical games. It's just that Destiny decided to make a game about wizards and shit. It's not about enhanced mobility. It never was. It's about the game that you're making. And it's not a craze. 343 have come out and said they were trying to make the game like frickin' Batman. What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't make any sense, and neither do you.
And crazy gameplay seemed completely in line with what other shooters were doing at the time on the market. Destiny, however, released a year earlier.
But you're the man that said they weren't copying other shooters on the fucking market. You said that. I said they were. You said they weren't. So which is it? You can't have it both ways. You said they were not copying other shooters on the market. Now you're saying they were. So why should anyone listen to what you say now? What?
And despite its well-earned, iffy reception, it was a ridiculous success that kept gamers hooked for years.
Destiny was not a fucking success. What are you talking about? That game wasn't a fucking success. They had loads of problems with that game. They didn't meet fucking Activision's expectations with that one. And now they're struggling because of the first one was so bad. The second one's doing even worse. So that in the long term, it was even more of a fail. So how was it a huge success? What are you talking about?
Most games die off after a year or two, but Destiny was still going strong, topping even new...
That's because they left half the content out of the game till later and you had to buy it again. And that rubbed the fan base up the wrong way, so they didn't buy the second one.
Releases and active players. This was a new style of game that the AAA video game industry noticed, and now, 4 or 5 years later, around the time it takes to develop a video game, we are seeing a lot of shared world live service type games beginning to come out in response to Destiny's success. I'm expecting Halo Infinite to also have closely watched Destiny and taken notes on how it shook the gaming industry and kept...
Well, that's the kind of dumb shit that 343 do. Are you saying you want the game to be shit by copying other games? Because that's the kind of thing that 343 do. Now you're using your brain. Now you're being smart. Okay? That's exactly the kind of shit that 343 is doing. They're watching other people and trying to steal their fucking ideas. They're not coming up with ideas for themselves because they don't have any ideas. Their whole fucking existence is just stealing other people's ideas. They were given Halo, something that's not theirs to start with. Then they copied shit off Call of Duty, which isn't theirs either. Then they copied shit from Destiny, which isn't theirs either. Now they're going back to Halo 3 art style, which isn't fucking theirs either. And now you think they're going to copy Destiny even further? Wouldn't fucking surprise me, because that's all they fucking do. Copy other shit that other people have done. But why would you want that in a fucking Halo game? If you want to play a game like that, go and play Destiny 2. Simple. Everybody wins. You get to play the kind of game you want, and then Halo fans get to play the game they want. Simple.
Players coming back time and time again. The focus on vast landscapes, wildlife, different lighting conditions, as well as the title itself, which is literally another word for endless, makes me believe that Halo Infinite will be 343's direct response to Destiny. And the
I already did that Halo Destiny baby video. So, need I say more?
live service type games. I'm expecting Halo Infinite to be unlike any Halo game we've seen before in its model and design. Halo 5 took little tiny steps towards a live service model that felt more immediately reactionary, and they were stitched onto a traditional Halo-style game. But I'm expecting Infinite to be the first Halo game built from the ground up as a game that you will be coming back to over and over again over the course of years and sink hours.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me either, because they're doing the same shit with Gears of War, and it's fucking horrendous. Nobody wants to keep playing these shitty games over and over. One of the most best-selling games recently, God of War, a game that you fucking play for a few days and it's fucking over. So why make a game that is fucking dog shit that you have to keep playing over and over again, that no one wants to play? No one cares anymore. If you want to make a game people want to keep coming back to, then make a game that's really good in fucking multiplayer mode that people actually want to play. A game like Destiny doesn't do that. The only reason people came back to Destiny is because of the download content model, and because the game was fucking shit to begin with, and the download content made the game a better game to play. hasn't worked for Destiny 2 because they pulled the same shit and people are like, I'm not buying the same shit again. You didn't improve on Destiny 1. So if they can't improve from Halo 4 to Halo 5, why would they improve from Halo 5 to Halo 6? They won't. So why? So why do you think that's a good idea to have a game where they have a shitty model like that? Like Halo 5. It won't work a second time. It didn't work the last time they did it. Because the game did shit. So why would they do the same thing again? I mean, they are retarded, but why would you want them to do that? I know these are expectations, but he doesn't say it with much malice. It's like, oh, well, if this happens, it happens. It's like, no, if it happens, it's fucking over. It's dead. No one will buy it. No one will even play it on Game Pass. No one will want to start it on their achievements to look at them on the fucking card and be like, that fucking shitty game there, I need to finish.
Days, months of your life into in the same way that you would The Division, Anthem, Destiny, etc., etc. I can already hear, though, the comments of, keep Destiny as far away from my Halo as possible. Let me quickly clarify. I don't mean that Halo Infinite will be Destiny with a Halo skin, complete with the same weird manipulative BS from Bungie. I mean the spirit of a live service game, just hopefully with more respectful business practices.
From
Which
free
brings
for
me to
free
my next iffy point that I'm
and Microsoft. Bullshit.
Here's where I'm a bit anxious. The loot box controversy has seen gaming giants running for the hills and ditching their loot boxes, which is good, by the way.
But Microsoft isn't doing that. They already said they're not. And you years ago defended microtransactions and said they were okay. So stop. Just stop.
I find loot boxes creepy and a manipulative way of taking advantage of those with a
You tried to make out like games on the Sega Mega Drive were fucking way more than they are now, and games have dropped in price and they're not making as much money from the base game and all that bullshit, when that's not true because you haven't adjusted for inflation, and games now are easier to make than they were back then because the technology has improved. So to make a Sonic now is a piece of piss, whereas to make that game then would have been hard work. So you can't really compare it. But you said it was okay for that reason, for some bullshit reason that you concocted in your own head, and now you have a problem with them even though you already said that it was okay. You need to make your fucking mind up with these things, man. Seriously. I mean, you'll probably next week you'll be saying, well, Halo's got them, it doesn't matter if it does come out with them, because you can't make up your own mind.
tendencies, and just generally making a shittier gaming experience for the rest of us who can resist the urge to spend because we have to deal with compromised game design that's designed...
You don't have to do a compromised game design. Here's what you do. You go to the shop, right? You go to any game shop, right? Ask them if they have a console called a PlayStation 4. Just hear me out, hear me out. You buy the PlayStation 4. You buy the following games: God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, The Order 1886, and No Man's Sky. And the Uncharted collection. Not Uncharted 4, because that does have microtransactions. But get all those games. Get Shadow of the Colossus too, if you fancy that. There's loads of games out there that don't have microtransactions. So just avoid the games that do. Problem solved. Also, new Spider-Man game. No microtransactions. So pre-order that shit. Problem solved. If you're looking for games with no microtransactions, the PS4 is where it's at. The PS4 is where it's at. Because Sony is starting to listen. And Sony doesn't want the bad PR because Sony knows all about PR. They don't want bad PR. So they are not going to have microtransactions in their games. So move over to Sony. Microsoft doesn't give a shit. They're making a service. They don't care about their image. They don't give a fuck. They're like EA. So don't buy their fucking games. Move on.
To addict those other people. I doubt Halo Infinite will double down and push the loot box system of Halo 5 any further.
But they have already said they're going to do that. Your man Frank O'Connor said that. The guy that never talks any sense. But you quoted him in this video.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they ditch it and start offering small buyable bundles of things like the Voices of War pack. One-time purchase.
Not fucking likely, is it?
That buyers can buy straight up, no manipulation like loot boxes or rec packs. If Halo truly does go down a full-blown live service shared world route, I could also see paid DLC coming back to an extent. I like paid DLC. I'm just gonna say it. People pretend like it's this awful thing just because of a few bad actors that have abused the concept, but at its core, I like the idea of paid DLC. I like that I buy a game once with an uncompromised and fulfilling gameplay loop, campaign, unlock system, multiplayer, all this stuff that has no incentive to push me towards purchases because there's no loot boxes to buy. It's just purely made for my enjoyment. And I pay for it once. And if I'm having fun with this game and a map pack comes out with even more content, and I'm already enjoying the base game and I want even more of it, so I buy that map pack once and then it's mine forever. I like that. I like paid DLC when it's done well. I like it a lot more than buying a game that feels like it's made itself slightly too grindy in the hopes that it tests my patience and I eventually just pull a slot machine lever over and over and over again. 343, while being very responsive to the changing industry, sometimes to a fault.
See, that made actual some sense. So there's a shitload of comments in this video saying that loot boxes are better than paid DLC. And these are the kind of people that need to be dragged out onto the street in mass and shot. Because they are killing video games for everybody. They are killing the video game industry for Microsoft. There's a reason the PlayStation 4 is outselling the Xbox 2-1. Okay? And microtransactions are playing their part in this. Okay? They are playing a huge part in this. Okay? Microsoft was the ones that came out and said, you can't buy used games, and you can't do this, and you've got online check-in, and blah blah blah. And gamers said, no, fuck you, and bought the PS4. And now they're still doing bullshit with microtransactions and stuff. Look what happened with Battlefront 2, all the outrage. And the same shit is happening with Microsoft games. People are moving on to the PS4. Facts.
They're also more responsive to their community than people give them credit for. Some could argue that they overcorrect based on feedback. It's hard to say what they got from the rec system in terms of feedback. Initial response from the community was positive, while outside out...
Hold on a minute. The initial response from the community was positive. What, from a few selected people that they had to talk about it for them? You saw the Battlefront 2 shit, man. This is the same shit. Are you saying the Halo fanbase are retarded or something? The real Halo fanbase left. That's why they lost half their fanbase. I made this clear years ago. Halo follower did a big thing about, oh, you got paid only rep packs, and there was no outrage. There was no outrage from them over that. And they said prior to launch, are you going to buy any rep packs? There's rep packs in the game, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter, blah, blah, blah. And what happened? They lost half the fan base. 343 lost half their fan base. That's what happened. Was that because of the gameplay? Was that because of the rec system? Was that because of everything? Who knows? Who knows 100% for sure? But nothing in that game is any good. And the rec system does not fucking help. It's like taking out split screen. Doesn't fucking help.
Were less positive, but with the 2017 loot box scare scaring the industry into not using gambling like loot boxes, Maybe 343.
Battlefield 5 does have loot boxes. They've just changed the name of the loot boxes to airdrops. It still has loot boxes. I was tempted to do a video, but it's like, at this point, if you're expecting an EA game to not have loot boxes, you're living in a dream world. Even when they tell you to your face there is no loot boxes, they are lying piece of shit cunts. They are lying to you. Battlefield 5 does have loot boxes. Fact. They're called airdrops. Look at the special edition fucking pre-order. It says there on Xbox Live, on the fucking shop, Ultimate Edition or whatever it is, or Special Edition, Battlefield 5, get 20 or 30 airdrops, blah blah blah. Well, what's in the airdrops? Loot. What are they? Loot boxes. It's not rocket science. But there's no loot boxes in Battlefield 5, apparently. Apparently there is, because you only have to go on the Xbox site to where you purchase the game, and you can see that there are loot boxes. Okay. Oh no, they're called airdrops. Sorry. Airdrops, not loot, but airdrops.
Has noticed the stigma and internally course-corrected if they had indeed planned on using them again with Infinite. I have a lot of reasons to believe that they will be less manipulative and more player-friendly in their business model in Infinite.
Why would you believe that when this is 343? A fucking set of developers that are literally under Microsoft, who are a big corporation. They don't have any say of their own game whatsoever. Everything is pushed through Microsoft because they are Microsoft. And basically, they're just going to milk you for as much money as possible. They don't give a shit about the fan base. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about any of us. And you're there saying, oh, it's going to be less manipulative. Why? Why? If all Microsoft's games have gay-ass loot box shit in it, what makes you think this one won't? Why will it be fucking any better?
But I also have a lot of reasons to think maybe they're viewing Halo 5's loot boxes as fine, and maybe they can get Infinites just under the radar. I hope that my fears are wrong. A mixture of free content.
He already said they're putting them in, so they're in. Unless they do a massive U-turn, they're in.
One-time purchase cosmetics and paid DLC would be my ideal outcome for how.
Why would that be your ideal outcome? Surely the ideal outcome is you just unlock stuff like in Halo Reach, where you just play the game, and then once you get a certain rank, you get your cool helmet that you wanted, and you get to another rank, and you get some shoulder pads, and you get to another rank, and you get some fucking shin pads, and you get to another rank, and you get some flaming helmet or something, or some lightning around you, or something like that. You get to have a nice little icon next to your name in the menu, like a battle rifle or something, like in the MCC. That's the kind of shit where you just unlock stuff. Why is the ideal model to you a model where they make you buy extra stuff you want? Oh, you want a cool fucking helmet? That'll be fucking $5. Oh, you want some cool thing next to your name in the menu? £3, please. It's like, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Does its business. I'm sick and tired of cheap and manipulative ways of getting players to dump money into a game because of a compromised progression system that's disguising a glorified slot machine. A mixture of free content, one-time purchase cosmetics, and paid DLC or expansion packs would be my ideal outcome for how Infinite does its business.
Your ideal outcome is a horrific, horrendous outcome that no one wants. The ideal outcome is Halo Reach. One of the best games ever made. It's a game that's so fucking good, you know, in years to come. People will still be talking about that game as one of the greatest of all time. It won't be the Halo YouTubers who buried it because they wanted to throw it under the bus to make 343 look better. But it will be talked about by real gamers who understand what real games are. And Halo Reach has everything that a real gamer looks for in a game. Everything. Unlockable content. Loads of fucking awesome fucking shit. Maps. Old maps. New maps. A way to build maps. Split screen. Online campaign. Online multiplayer. Firefight. The list goes on and on and on. If Halo Reach had microtransactions, that would just mar the game. We wouldn't be talking about it as one of the greatest of all time. We'd be saying like it was an 8 out of 10. Decent, but ruined by microtransactions. It's not a 10 out of 10 legendary, awesome game. It's ruined. And that's all they... Even if they made a good game, they slap microtransactions on it, and all of a sudden it's a shit game. Because the whole game revolves around them. That's one of the reasons Gears of War 4 is so fucking shit. Especially the Horde and the fucking multiplayer. It's all revolving around the microtransactions and more achievements. And the fact that they want you to pay real money in the game to get achievements. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. But your ideal situation is being able to buy stuff with real money in a game. That's the position you're in now. That's the position you're in with Halo 5. We don't want to be in that position. I don't care if I can see what I'm buying and I know what I'm buying. You had that in Halo 5 as well. You had packs with the battle rifle in. You had packs with the swords in. You had packs with the sniper rifles in. They already did that shit in Halo 5. You knew what you were getting. We don't want that shit either. We don't want any gay-ass microtransaction systems in there at all. We don't want them. We want a good game, which we aren't going to get from this company. So the fucking 343 should be taken out of the equation. The game should be given to a different studio. That's the only way you're ever going to see a decent Halo game in your lifetime, is if they move it to another studio. But they're not going to do that. Because they don't give a shit about the fans. They want to milk you for more money. So there will be gay-ass microtransactions. And they'll come up with gay excuses about how it's for the esports, even though the esports has already been paid for. Oh, it's not. We need some more money for the shareholders. It's like they're arseholes. They don't care about the fan base. And that's why the game is going to fail.
And if the base game itself is enjoyable enough to where I feel like spending a little extra money to enhance my experience even further and buying it once, then yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, but you're part of the problem. Then you're funding them. That means they get away with more. That means they put more shit in. So when people bought the battle rifle pack in Halo 5, they were like, oh, let's do more of them. Oh, let's put a sword pack in. Prophet's Bane or whatever. Oh, let's put a Norfang pack in. To make more money, because people are like, one-time purchase, this is good because I'm actually getting what I'm paying for. You're funding them, you're making the system worse in the process, like a moron. That's what you'll be doing in that game, but it doesn't matter because I won't be fucking playing that game, because I'll be over on PS4, because Sony seem to be actually listening as of right now, and they're not putting microtransactions in their fucking games. So while I'm playing fucking awesome games on Sony, who gives a shit about Halo? Really? Come on now.
Halo Infinite is taking a while to cook, and that is good. Well, yes, it sucks that it's been like 3 years and we still have no clue when the game is even coming out or how close it is to being finished. The fact 343...
Well, obviously it ain't going to be this year, so it might be next year, it might be the year after. But they failed hard because now Gears of War has come out 2 times in between a Halo game to another Halo game. It's an absolute fuck up, you ask me.
has seemingly slowed way down and is taking time to make the game. It's a good sign for me that they're taking so long. I want them to take as long as they need. I think Infinite has the potential to be great, and I want to give 343 the breathing room.
It doesn't have any potential to be great because the key word you just said there was 343. They have never made a great Halo game, not even a good, well, Halo 4's campaign and the Spartan Ops was alright, but the multiplayer was shit. So they made a somewhat decent Halo game when compared to Halo 5 one time, when they actually had a good writer that they don't have anymore. They did something that was sort of maybe you could stretch and say good. But why would you think they would do that with this game? After the abysmal launch of the MCC, after Halo 5, the worst game, the worst FPS game of all time. Bar none. Bar none. Why would you expect it to be good?
For them to make it the best game that they can. This next game, Halo Infinite, I'm expecting it to be a monument to all their sins, but not in a bad way, in a good way. 343 has had over half a decade of making mistakes and learning from those mistakes, and all of
They haven't learned from their mistakes. How did they learn from their mistakes from Halo Reach to Halo 4? The shit they pulled in Halo Reach by fucking up, by taking out playlists people enjoyed and DLC playlists and all that, they did the same thing in Halo 4. They didn't learn from their mistakes. What did they learn from? Nothing. The shit they pulled in Halo 4, making a game like Call of Duty. We lost a load of population in the multiplayer. What's going on? Yeah, no one likes the fucking game because it's too much like Call of Duty. Let's make Halo 5 even more like Call of Duty. What? How did they learn from their mistakes? Yeah, people don't like Spartan Ops. Hey, let's make Halo 5 use the same story writer as Spartan Ops. Yeah, that's a good idea. But let's not put any of the Spartan Ops characters in it because people didn't like Spartan Ops. Right, but you're going to use the same writer that wrote Spartan Ops to do the story for Halo 5, but you're not going to use any of the characters from Spartan Ops because no one likes Spartan Ops. But you're still going to use the writer from Spartan Ops. Does that make any sense? How did they learn from their mistakes? How did they learn from the mistakes? By making Spartan Ops that people didn't like, then using the same freaking story writer. I even said in my review that Halo 5's campaign felt like Spartan Ops. Before I knew it was written by the same guy that wrote Spartan Ops. Insane. Absolutely insane. Learn from their mistakes. Have they ever learned from their mistakes once? Once. 343 doesn't learn from their mistakes. They just make mistakes and then continue to make mistakes and then continue to make mistakes and then continue to make mistakes. They don't learn from their mistakes.
of that is going to culminate in a game birthed from fan feedback and honing their craft personally.
343 don't believe in fan feedback. They ignore fan feedback because it's all negative.
As a studio, I personally wish that Infinite was just a straight up normal classic Halo game without any nonsense that I dislike. But I also understand that that's disgustingly unrealistic to expect a game tailor-made for me specifically.
Why is it tailor-made for you when they lost half the fan base? If half the fan base doesn't care about new Halo, then the logic thing would be to make a Halo that people would care about. And when was Halo the most popular? Well, let me see now. The most popular Halo game was Halo 3. What art style are they using? Halo 3. So maybe they are making it like Halo 3 because that would make the most sense. Maybe somebody is coming to 343 that actually has a brain and they're going to try, they're probably still going to fail, they're going to try and make a Halo 3 style game, even if it does have armor ability, sprint, a few things from Reach and Halo 4 and, you know, you DMRs and maybe it's got the shit rocket launcher from Halo 5 just to fuck everyone's head up, make the game shit in some ways. Maybe they're only going to put 2-player split screen in and not 4-player split screen, and that's going to piss a lot of people off, even though it's just like they're going to find a way of fucking up. But why is the logical thing, if you're saying logic, why would the logical thing be to make Halo 5 again, but with Halo 3's graphics? Like, that's going to solve any of their problems. That will literally solve it for the casual observer that doesn't fucking understand anything that's going on in life. Yeah, so they'll probably sell maybe the same as Halo 5, maybe a bit less. If that's what the game for, mind you, Game Pass, so who's going to buy the game anyway? But, you know, I just don't get it. I don't get why you would think that that's not logical. It's not logical to make a game like Halo 3 when Halo 3 was the best seller. More logic to base the game on Halo 5 a game that didn't sell for shit.
Though, I expect a game that's, like I said, a culmination of what 343 has learned over their time with Halo. What fans
They haven't learned anything though, so you won't get anything out of this game then.
like, dislike, etc., etc. And ultimately, I'm expecting a game that is very confident. And even if it isn't a classic
A
style
game itself is not confident. That's something that a person can be. A person can be confident, and 343 can be confident in their delivery of a game, but the game itself can't be confident.
Halo game, even if it's something we have never seen before with the series, I'm excited to see what 343 is making. I'm excited to see their magnum opus, finally. What are you guys expecting from Halo Infinite? Are
Nothing.
you optimistic about it, or are you still pessimistic?
Why would you be optimistic about anything coming from a studio known as 343 Industries? That's all I've got to say on that.
You expect the game's core design to be like? Let me know in the comment section below, because I want to hear what you guys are thinking generally. Obviously, these are just my thoughts, but I exist within my own head. What are you guys
Fucking don't we know it?
thinking? Let me know in the comment section. Like, share the video around. It really helps the channel, seeing as YouTube certainly isn't helping. And guys, I'll see you on the
Now
next
you've only
video.
got 12,000 views. Need to get some more views on this video. Right. I might look at comments, but if I do, I'll do it on a separate video, because this is probably like 1,000,000 hours long. Feel free to subscribe. See you later.